Hey, welcome to the channel. Got a little tip for you today. Hanging pictures? Need to mount something on the wall? How do you do it and get it square? Make sure it's right where it needs to be. I've got the tip coming right up. To mount my sound bar on the wall. But I got to thinking, sometimes unless you do this kind of stuff all the time, it can kind of freak you out a little bit about how do I make sure that it's level, and how do I make sure that it's straight, and how do I make sure that it's centered. And the centered part is what we're going to work on today. So what I'm going to mount today is this sound bar is going to go underneath on this board here. And that way there, it'll be easy access. You can plug things into it. As far as getting it level, it's pretty easy to do. You just need to have it level. This happens to be a 4-foot level, but they make them in 2-foot lengths, 3-foot lengths, all the way up to 12-foot lengths. But to do a project like this, a 2-foot level would be just fine. Okay, when it comes to a level, basically the bubble needs to be between the line. And here, it obviously is off level. The right side is lower than the left side. So I raise up the right side, the bubble keeps coming, keeps traveling, and there we go. The bubble is in between the lines, and now you just make 2 marks on the wood, and that is your level plane that you can hang a picture or something else on the wall with, and it'll be level. Where some people have trouble is, how do I get this sound bar that's centered in between this area right here? You can see I've got a post, another post, I put a 2x4 in between them, but what I want to do is I want to make sure that sound bar is right in the center, this area right here, so it'll look nice. So the manufacturer has come up with this template for the sound bar, and it shows you where the brackets need to go, so then the sound bar be mounted to the wall, be level and square and centered. Okay, when I measure it, it comes out to 20 inches and 13 sixteenths. 20 and 13 sixteenths. So what I'll do is I'll calculate what's the center when I have 20 and 13 sixteenths. So you take the total width and you divide it by 2, and what I do is I take the big numbers. So once again, this was 20 and 13 sixteenths. I split the 20 in half, which would give me 10, add another 1/4 of an inch, which means that gives you a half, and then you add another 1/8 of an inch, that gives you 3/4, and then a little bit beyond that. Now, of course, you can always get on your phone and do the calculations, and it'll spit it out for you. Okay, now in this area, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to measure between these 2 posts, and that comes out to be 17 and a half. So what is half of 17? Well, let's see here. 7 would be 14. 8 plus 8 is 16. So 8 and a half is 17. So there's my half of 17 is 8 and a half, and then if I add another 1/4 of an inch, that would give me 17 and a half. So let me make a little mark there. So I have 8 3/4. Spin the tape around this way, and I have 8 3/4. So that is my center. That will be my center line between these 2 posts. Here's a nice little handy dandy tool. It's called a carpenter square. So I have my mark. This is my center mark. So what I want to do is I want to put that mark up here at the top. So I'm just going to lay my square, make sure my square isn't sitting like this. It's up against the bottom. Drag it over till it hits my mark, and then I just make a nice mark straight up and down. I'm going to mark that with a C for center. So there is my center mark between these 2 posts. And this is installation of things on your wall made easy. Now I have a center mark on my guide. I have a center mark on the wall where it needs to be. I'm just going to match those two center points up. I'm going to make sure that my guide is at the top of the 2x4 that I've mounted because I know it's level. Center marks line up. Now I can just mark the hose, put the brackets on, and rest assured it will be level, it will be centered, and it'll sound good. It's always a good idea to pre-drill the hose. One thing to always keep in mind when you mount something like this soundbar, a TV, if you try to use the factory screws that come with the mount, always junk. They strip out easy, they bend easy. So what I've learned through the years is to go ahead and get you a nice little construction screw that's a lot stronger, and it's going to hold better, and it's going to save yourself the problem trying to get something mounted with just screws that just are not good quality at all. A nice little power drill is good to have. You can do it with a screwdriver, but it's so much easier with a nice little drill like this. This is a Ryobi, and I really like this little drill. It doesn't have a ton of power, but for small jobs like this, it works pretty good. Okay, now that you have your wall mounts ready to go, your sound bar just fits on those two brackets. There we go. Soundbar complete. All right, so there we have it. All hooked up and ready to go. Ready to put some power to it and listen to the gorgeous music that are on my LAF Space Film Fest videos. That's capital LAF Space Film Fest. Okay, so a little project like that is not bad to do at all. You can see it probably took 15-20 minutes to put it together. As long as you know how to center it, as long as you know how to level it, you can now sit back and enjoy it. Okay, when you do a little project like this, another small tip is when it comes, open it up, take all the parts out, lay all the parts out. Check your list, make sure you didn't get shorted a few parts, lay the screws out, the anchors out, the brackets out, make sure everything is ready to go. Then when you go to put it together, they're all right there on the table, and you grab them, put them up, and it makes for a smooth operation. So I appreciate you coming to the channel. That's LAF Space Film Fest, capital LAF Space Film Fest. I hope this helps. If it does, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you like. I've got a lot of interesting videos out there, from travel to projects to educational, maybe even some self-defense. I hope your day goes well. I hope if you get you a sound bar, it's mounted nice and straight and centered, and you can enjoy that beautiful sound radiating out of those speakers. Have a good day.